Iniebe has lashed out on the pattern of Bola Ahmed Tinubu renaming every institutions and every infrastructure after himself. The plan, the already renamed Coastal Highway to Bola Ahmed Tinubu Coastal Highway, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, right? It is crazy how these guys will go to any extent to, I don't know, massage their own ego or patronize themselves. Imagine something they took out loans to actually build. 15 whooping trillion naira awarded to Chaudhry and friends without a competitive bid. No due process followed, and suddenly they want to name it after Bola Ahmed Tinubu. That is what you get when you elect incompetent leaders or they force themselves on you. They undo and redo everything you know. They change patterns and change whatever to suit their ego. Well, let's see Niebe spare his mind on this.
Thank you. So there are two ways to look at it. The first is there are public infrastructures or institutions whose names are statutory, that is derived from acts of parliament, where, for example, an institution of government is established. Parliament would normally assign a name to that institution. A case in point is the University of Lagos. When under President Goodluck Jonathan, there was an effort to rename it, I think after MKO Abiola, if I'm not mistaken, and that effort was resisted during the June 12, one of the June 12 anniversary under Jonathan. So that is because if you want to rename an institution whose name is by statute, you have to go through Parliament. There are, however, institutions and projects whose names are not statutory. In those instances, it is easier. The government can just simply ascribe a name to such projects or such institutions. My own concern as a Nigerian is that what we are seeing under this administration appears to be a willful and completely misguided personalization of governance. To begin with, these projects are funded with taxpayers' money. They are projects that are budgeted for. They have undergone the process of legislation in terms of the appropriation process. So when public funds are used for public projects, it is only commonsensical that the names should have some bearing to the public. That is why this road was named Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road. In other words, this is supposed to be a coastal road connecting Lagos and Calabar. So that makes a lot of sense. But if you are now saying that it is no longer a road connecting Lagos and Calabar, it is now a road connecting Lagos and Tinubu, and you want to rename it Bola Ahmed Tinubu Coastal Road, some logic has to be offered for it. But this is not isolated. As you have rightly noted, we are seeing a pattern, and that is where some of us are concerned, that this is becoming purely egoistic, that several public institutions and projects are being renamed after the president. You have the library in the National Assembly being renamed after the president. You have immigration renaming one of the infrastructure after the president. You have roads in Abuja being renamed by the Minister of the FCT after the president. If you are a president that believes that you have really served the Nigerian public, you should allow history to judge you.
Well, Inibehe, let me, for the sake of time, interrupt. Okay. So for the individuals or citizens or any civic group who feels as though they want to challenge this executive decision to rename the coastal road, as a lawyer, could you give some advice in court? What are the legal grounds that a suit could be raised?
Except, you know, I started on that foundation to say that if the names have statutory backing, that is, Parliament has said this is the name that this institution, infrastructure, or project is to bear. You cannot throw executive fiat, rename such institutions or projects. But where there is no statutory backing to the name, the executive arm of government has the discretion to rename it. The point we are making as Nigerians is this renaming in the public interest? What is the rationale behind it? For example, you are renaming a library, of all places, the National Assembly, after a president that has really not done so much for education.
Interesting, right? Nigerians. Wake up. These guys, they carry us go where we know no. I don't understand. Like, I seriously don't get it. What's in all this whole renaming, claiming? If they are not naming after Mrs. Akara, they are naming it after Mr. Corn. What did we even do to this family? This family of corn that they are out to get us. Seriously, what did Nigeria do to these guys? Tinubu and co, Tinubu and family, wetin we do now? You are looting the country dry and then rubbing it on our faces. This is more or less like insult on top injury. I don't know, Nigerians. Let's know what you think, about this whole situation of renaming. The same way the mad dog in Anambra State is busy renaming everything. Solution is here. The same way Willie did during his tenure, Willie is working, plastering it all over the place. I mean, we just have clowns in government houses these days. Like, that's what you get when you have mediocres who have nothing to show after a reasonable amount of time they've spent in office. See you around. Peace.